Hello, good morning, and welcome to Bill Ricardi's weekly Patreon update. I, of course, am Bill Ricardi, a creator and purveyor and writer of fantasy novels. In this case, I will be talking about why my hair and my beard are about to go away. I'll be talking about what the next step is over in Panos, and I will then be talking about my other obligations for both this week and the week to come. So let's start at the start, and that is Cadence. Cadence is being finished today. What we call primary beta should be finalized by midnight. That's my goal. And after that, I spend the entire weekend pouring through the text and making sure that it's to the level that I want to have it before it hits the beta readers. I want to get rid of all the bonehead stuff if I possibly can. Some stuff will slip through the cracks, and that will be taken care of in the first 2 weeks of the beta read. Now, let me explain the process of the first 2 weeks just really quick. I'm not Stephen King. I can't afford to rest a book for an entire month because I do my own production as well. So that time gets cut in half. I can only rest the book. In other words, I can only make non-artistic decisions for a 2 week period instead of a full month period. Stephen King would put the whole damn thing in a drawer and just, for at least a month, if not more, and come back to it later when he's got a lot of distance from it. My distance has to come from 2 weeks. That's all I have. I have to put out 3 novels a year. I have to do it all myself. So there's that. So those first 2 weeks of the beta period. Oh, that sound, by the way, is Loki going crazy with a ping pong ball. So everyone say hi to Loki. That first 2 weeks is the technical read period for the beta readers. So they go through and they pick out any sort of wording issues, vocabulary issues, etc., etc. Particularly when I'm overseas and most of my readers are in America and I'm using OUs and S's instead of Z's, etc., etc. So they pick out all the little things where the words are technically spelled correctly because they are a word. They're just not the right word, They do that, and they any sort of pronoun mistakes, etc., etc. All the technical stuff gets done in the first 2 weeks. That way, I can just glance at it, and if it's a quick fix, I can just say, "Yep, approved, approved, approved." Right. The next 2 weeks after that are the artistic stuff. So I need to have done something else in those 2 weeks other than deal with strictly Cadence. So I start book 2 of the Blackstaff siblings. I'm back in Panos at that point. I finished the outline. It's already pretty well outlined, but I do what's called the complete outline with all the detail work in it. That's usually 1 week, and then the next week I actually break ground and start writing the second novel, which is the sequel to A Princess of Last Resort. Boom. That all gets done in the first 2 weeks. That gives me a nice break, a mental break. It gives me some distance away from Cadence so that when the beta readers come on their week 3 of beta, which starts the artistic read, they are dealing with an author who is not as emotionally vested. They are dealing with an author who is not living and dying on every word. I've achieved some distance at that point. I've done something else. I have more impartiality, with my beta readers. So they do the artistic read. We do all the takeouts, all the drop-ins, the cuts, the inserts, etc., etc., and we come up with the final product together, which is great. So that's a beta process. That kicks off on Monday. I have to get everything ready for that. Cover artist. Still don't have one. Still don't have a cover artist for Cadence. Of course, the wonderful Natalie Martin is on maternity leave. Congratulations to her. I hope that she's having a wonderful experience and a long rest. And of course, everyone knows the fantastic job that she did with both Princess of Last Resort as well as with Rhythm. Those covers are legendary. They are awesome. But now I have to find another artist. The first couple fell through during negotiations. It was it's just not working out. The next couple didn't respond, and that's painful because I was really hopeful as far as commissioning them. There were some pretty unique art styles on the table there, but they simply have not responded. So I can't do anything about that. I'm gonna have to move on. Starting on Monday, I'll start a brand new search, and hopefully we will get cover art in time. If not, I'm gonna have to license something, and that's a pity, but that is just the way it goes. I like to do custom art for my novels. If I have to license something, then whenever Natalie gets off of her maternity leave, I'll talk to her and see if we can get a replacement cover afterwards. I don't want to leave a licensed cover, sitting on there. Basically, something that has been used for something else, or potentially sits in a photo gallery somewhere and says, you can use me for commercial purposes for X amount of dollars. Wonderful, but I want something custom. And that's been the same for all of my books. So that is what's going on this week and early next week. What else have I done this week? My Foxy Boyfriend is over on Wattpad, and that has been constantly added to. I try to add to it 3 times a week. I want to say we're up to like chapter 8 now. It's been a really fun experiment. This could be something that develops into, one of those cutesy romance novels eventually. We'll see how Wattpad likes it. It takes, several weeks, if not months, to kind of gain the popularity and the momentum necessary and the attention necessary to get a series going on Wattpad. But, yeah, it's been fun. So, My Foxy Boyfriend over on Wattpad. Check that out. And, of course, I'm doing Mark Dawson's 101 course as well. And this is obviously, a finalization week. It's the second most stressful week next to release week for a new book. So I haven't gotten a lot done on Mark's course. But you can bet your bottom dollar that before I get all this cover stuff done, I'm going to be covering the cover chapter, no pun intended. And before I do my release, I'm going to go through all the mastering stuff and make sure that all of that stuff is done. And I have to remaster my first 5 books to match the system as well, literally from cover to cover. A lot of it's text-based changes. Some of it is little banners and other things. And then inside the book, I have to do a lot of edits as far as pushing my other books. Now that I have a stable of 5, which is about to become 6 books, people have to know about all the cross purchases that are available on my website, on my store, on Amazon, etc., etc. So I have to fix all that according to the Dawson system. It's going to take several weeks to do all of this, but there will be a re-release hopefully soon. That's it for me, folks. Thank you so much for your patronage. Remember, don't be scared when I come back. The beard's going to be gone. The hair's going to be really, really short. That's what happens whenever I finish, beta for a product. It all comes off. So don't worry. It's not Doppelganger. I have not been replaced. You will see myself and Loki, of course. Thank you for your appearance, Loki. Next week. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.